Yo internet, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of the Jongravesshow Show. This is one of those episodes that actually I really like because it does a wonderful job of setting up the actual villain of this series without actually really giving us too much about him. I mean, they have been teasing things about him ever since this series started back on the first episode when we were in that home when they were cooking breakfast, and then there was just a hand just sitting on the table, and we didn't realize that it was a severed arm until later, which that's actually a pretty cool way how that they do kind of talk about this whole thing. And even with the whole beginning parts of how they use the two characters in this episode, in this case Rohan and Koichi, is like Rohan's whole thing is that he's trying to find he's trying to find the old home in which that he lived at. But this happened when he was around 3 or 4, so he doesn't really remember. And during some investigation, Rohan and Koichi end up walking into this. They find the place where he was when he was a little kid, but in the process of doing so, they walk in between the worlds of the living and dead. And of course, they meet a ghost girl who pretty much knows Rohan, but he doesn't know her. And of course, her story is a very tragic one of pretty much the main killer of the series breaking into her home and murdering her dog and parents without her even knowing it, and hiding underneath her bed, such as her dog would, and licking her hand until she doesn't realize until it's late. I mean, the entirety of it is actually brilliantly told, but pretty much the only real thing that's kind of keeping it from taking it aback or sort of blowing up in somebody's face is the fact of that a lot of that comes from misinformation. I mean, sure, we do get to see how Rohan feels about the whole thing and why he wants to do more, because of course he did know that girl, and he did know that and it wasn't revealed until the end that she actually saved his life. But I will be fair though, the main villain, Yoshikage Kira, I actually like him as a villain, not necessarily because he's doing all these evil things and that he's a deranged psychopath. It's the fact that once we find out that he's just a straight up murderer and that he does all this crazy shit, such as carrying around freshly severed arms in his car and driving them around as if there's something special and shit. It's you see that and it's this guy is literally fucking insane. Or at the very least, he revels in the fact of taking this severed arm on a date. Just the whole thing of him stopping at his home with the arm and pulling it out of the car and shit and asking so where is your bag? Gets the arm and shit, and a little blood drips on his seat and forces the hand to clean it up itself, and uses the hand to pick up its bag and walk in the house and talk about making dinner and shit. Sure, I'm pretty sure that he's having the time of his life, but still, even with that is beautifully deranged. And I like a villain like that. It's something that we can't understand and that we don't see all that often. But until then, though, that is what I have to say about that. Please tell me what do you think about this down there in the comment section. I will catch you on the next Jongravesshow Show. Keep watching anime, keep playing video games. I'm out.